Okay, so we use a lot of energy. There's no um, questioning that, especially in a cold climate as ours. We use a lot more energy than other countries. We do, because we need to keep warm, right? Um, so that'll be mainly electricity and gas, but we also use water, right? Water is another essential service. So we're gonna focus on how to save on energy, which is primarily used for heating and also running a bunch of equipment, and water. Obviously, you need that to do not just for drinking, but also to do laundry, shower, flush the toilets, and so forth. The good thing is, why would you want to do these changes? Is because you want to save the environment and you want to protect your wallet. So energy efficiency is what we're after. The key word, if you want to do well when it comes to how can you save energy, use the word upgrading to anything that is high efficiency, but you need to be more specific than that. You just don't just say, oh, upgrade to high efficiency. Well, high efficiency what? Furnace, stove, dryer, you name it. You want to be looking for the Energy Star. Sometimes it's Energy Star approved, or sometimes it's HE, right? So either one of these logos on any appliance will do the trick, right? One is Canadian, one is American, same thing, but they kind of both do the same thing. They want to save you money by using less, a lot less, okay? So how to reduce the electricity? I'm going to use pink for this one just to make it stand out. To just reduce electricity. So you have to be careful what I ask, right? So what can you do? You can upgrade the light bulbs, right? Upgrade light bulbs to LED. Using timers. You can use a timer for outdoor lights, for plugging in your car. You shouldn't be running it all night, right? You should have it like an hour or two before you leave for work or for school, whatever. Don't plug in your car in the garage. Did I talk about that? Never plug in your car inside. Okay, a lot of fires start the cable. It's the extension cords that are the ones to blame. So the fire department will tell you, do not plug in inside. You don't need to plug in if you have your car inside. All right. Install switches with motion sensors. That's a good one. That's what I have in my home. This one right here. Okay. My basement is always on. All the lights are on. And I'm always upset about that. So I was like, finally, I'm going to do something about it. So my boys play all over the basement. I come down, all the lights are on. So this, you can set it, right? Turn off after 20 minutes of inactivity, 30 minutes, whatever, $45. And then you don't have to worry about it, right? It will just turn off on its own. They don't stay on all night because sometimes I forget to check, right? But it will do the job for you. That's the point here. Choosing appliances, right? Your fridge, stove, dryer, washer, dryer, whatever, make sure they have high efficiency on it. So you can say upgrade. What can you do? Well, upgrade my fridge to a high efficiency fridge. You can do programmable timers. So for the outdoor light switch, instead of just having this, I actually got one of these. You can mine comes on as soon as the sun sets. My timer is set to automatically. You can actually tell it to, and it changes as the time changes. It has a memory. It just knows when the sun will set at a certain year and month and day. So it turns on as soon as the sun sets, and then it will turn off at when the sun rises. That's how I have mine set up. So that's a cool feature, right? This is a timer. I hope you recognize that for your block heaters and so forth. Let's keep going. Heating. This is the next one. I know I'm racing a little bit because sometimes this stuff is a bit boring, a bit dry. I get it, right? How to reduce heating? In Manitoba, we heat a number of ways. The primary ones are natural gas and electricity. This is on page 93. As soon as you're outside the city, they use propane. They'll use firewood, I guess. I didn't add that to here, but I think for this course, we're just gonna stick with that, right? Steam heat, some of the older houses, they have boilers, and these boilers actually produce steam. Have you ever been in a steam, like you see like a metal cast iron kind of weird looking thing on the side of the house, and it looks like there's pipes going through it? They use that to heat older buildings, right? But anyways, we're just gonna focus on those. Have you heard of geothermal? Anybody geothermal heating? You've heard? Okay. Let me just get, I think you should graduate and at least know, because that's the next big thing coming up. It has been around for a while, but let's just do an arrow from here. So basically, if this is your house, if that's your house, they drill pipes really, really deep below ground. So 100, 200 feet. I would have to check that. And those pipes, they're just underground, and then it comes back up to your furnace. So cold gets pumped down underground. There's a lot of heat, like there's warmer temperatures way down below the ground. And then the warm water comes back up, and it goes through your furnace. Your furnace blows through the hot tubes, cools it down. The cycle repeats, right? So the pump just keeps pumping that water, and that's what heats your building. It's more complicated than that, but in a nutshell, that's what geothermal is. In Manitoba, I'm not so sure that it's very efficient. I think it's better in more moderate climates, but it's minus 40. It doesn't quite do the job at minus 40. Like some people say they have to like add some heating to make it work. Okay. Anyways, you're with me, right? You're still with me? You're not falling asleep? Here are some tips to reduce heating costs. This is important. Okay. If you want more, visit Efficiency Manitoba, right? There are rebates there. What should you do? What should you do? I'm going to use a different color here. You can upgrade your furnace to a high efficiency furnace. We're on page 93. You can upgrade insulation in the attic, in the walls, in the basement. There are some houses that I've looked at when I was house hunting. The basement was completely unfinished. There was just concrete in the basement, but the walls aren't insulated. So you're losing a lot of heat there. So you can actually just insulate it and then finish the basement later, but in the meantime, you have it insulated. I like unfinished basements personally, because you can see the walls, you can see if there are any cracks, because I'll finish it myself. Like I'll just do it, I'll lay it out the way I want it. That's just a side note. Upgrade windows to triple pane windows. What is that? Here you go. This is double. Older homes only have 2 sheets of glass. But the newer windows, they are triple, right? So you can actually go and just make an arrow to that. You want to upgrade your windows to triple pane. How do you know whether or not you have double or triple pane? How would you know? Anybody in this room? Okay, you all have phones these days, so let's do the phone trick. So yeah, take your flashlight, and when it's very bright outside, it's hard to see. But if you shine against the window, you're close. You're gonna see three lights reflected inside the window. You're gonna see 3 of your phones in there. If you only see 2, then it's a double pane. You can also use a key or a coin, something shiny, and just hold it against it. And if you look carefully, you'll see 2 keys inside, right? It's like 2 panes. If you see 3 keys, then it's triple pane, right? So when I did house hunting, that's what I did. My real estate agent told me that trick, right? So it's like you go check, and there we go. So it saves you a lot of energy having that extra. because there is gas in between the layers. It's argon gas. Argon is, don't worry about it, that you're not gonna poison yourself if that cracks or whatever. It's very harmless. So don't worry about that, but argon is in there. And you can install a smart thermostat or a programmable thermostat. This one, obviously, you can program. That's what I have. I just have something that automatically at 6 in the morning, it warms the house. And then at about 9 or 10, it goes back down because nobody's home, right? Like I kind of have it set to a time. And at night, I want it to cool off in the home. You sleep better that way. But then you save energy. You're not always heating the home at the same rate. A smart thermostat is one of these here. I have a programmable and a smart. This is the smart one. And I'm sure there's variations of that, but it basically has a sensor. If it doesn't sense movement in the house, it will turn down the temperature. And it will learn your behavior. So if it all of a sudden it's weekends, there's movement, so we'll remember, okay, weekends there's people home. During the week, during the day, there's nobody home, so it automatically adjusts, which is kind of cool and kind of creepy at the same time, because oftentimes it's set to Wi-Fi, right? I mean, some of you might not care. I don't know if you can really prevent things from collecting your information, but that's that. So that's how you do heating. That's how you would reduce your heating costs. You know what? I didn't talk about everything. I didn't. You can do weather stripping. You know what weather stripping is? The doors, most doors at the bottom have like a rubber seal. If sometimes that wears out, and so air can go through. So cold air comes in, hot air goes out. Also around the door frame. So if you remember that, like upgrade or replace bad weather stripping, that would also be a way to save energy. Right? How do you reduce water? I'm almost done, I promise. Promise. How to reduce water consumption. Any Energy Star or Water Sense. It's a little different, right? Water Sense. Look for this symbol here. If it's Water Sense, then it's good. So I'm talking not just toilets, I'm talking shower heads. If you replace the shower head, it uses less water when you shower. Faucets, if you get a Water Sense faucet, it's going to save you more water than a regular one. How so, Mr. Dirksen? How in the world is that? It infuses bubbles, air bubbles into your water stream, right? So you can installing low flow kitchen faucet aerator. That is an aerator right there. So it basically just has a screen, and it allows water to mix in, air to mix in with the water, so you don't use as much. Because let's face it, if sometimes you wash your hands, you just need a little bit, or somebody can pour a whole bucket on your hands and wash it as well. You're gonna be clean in both instances, but you don't need all that water, right? You can save up to 40% by going with an aerator. Let me see here. There's a bunch of things. This is from the city of Winnipeg, guys. Like, don't let the kitchen faucet run while you clean your vegetables. It's probably good practice, but the province wants you to mention things that you can do to just automatically save water. I would do this. This is preventative maintenance, and it would save water. Check faucet and pipes for leaks. That is very important. Yeah. So replacing appliances and fixtures wear out, replace them with Energy Star Water Sense labeled products. Let's keep going. This is on page 94. We're going to go to 95. Saving water in the bathroom. And so to replace old water guzzling toilets with WaterSense labeled toilets, right? The city of Winnipeg has a calculate the payback period where it tells you how long it would take you to basically pay the toilet that you bought with the savings you're going to get. Pretty cool. This is important here. Check your toilet for leaks. I was at my parents' house two weeks ago, a week ago, and I heard the leak. I can hear it. My parents, I guess they don't hear well anymore. They're close to their 70s, right? And I was like, Dad, you know I have a leak? And he's like, no, I don't see anything. So open the toilet, nothing, there's no leak, right? But I can hear it. So I tell him, put some food coloring in the tank. Food coloring is harmless, right? Put that in here. If you start seeing the color showing up in the bowl, there's a leak from the tank to the bowl. Like the flap is not closing or something isn't sealing properly. You need to replace that. You're going to lose a ton of water that way. When I rented an apartment, they made us do that every year. The landlord would put some food coloring in here and check because they would lose a lot of water if they didn't, right? So that's one thing I'm going to say there. Let's keep going. For outdoors, I'm not going to mention anything for outside. If you want some reading materials, you can go ahead and do that. This is the last thing I'm going to do in this booklet, I promise. Go to page 97. All right, so this is a cost savings, right? Cost analysis type of question, okay? This is on page 97. Let's just do one question and then that's it. There will be one like this on the test, okay? So Jamira wants to upgrade to solar panels, which will cost her approximately $15,000. That's the cost of the improvement. She estimates that her electricity bill is $160 a month on average. Due to snow and cloudy days, she was told that she will need to purchase electricity from the city 2 months out of the year. So out of the 12 months, 2 months, she'll actually still have to purchase electricity. She will not be able to rely on the solar panels. Okay. How much will Jamira save on her costs in 1 year on electricity? So here, these aren't really like rocket science, right? You just say, hey, she will be saving 10 months worth of electricity, and if she used to pay 160, right? So 10 months worth 160, that's $1,600 per year of savings, right? So that's the approach that you can take here. She will still be saving $1,600 a year because 10 months out of the year she doesn't need to pay for electricity. So how long in years would it take for the savings to pay for the solar panels? All you'd have to do is this, time. You take the $15,000 for the solar panels, right? And you divide it by $1,600, because this is how much you would save. So you're basically asking how many times does the 1,600 go into 15,000, and the answer is 9.375 years. And you would say you would have to conclude approximately 10 years, right, to be safe. Approximately 10 years. So you figure out the savings, and then you just divide the savings into the cost of upgrading. I'm telling you that this comes in very different shapes and sizes, any kind of format, different scenarios, so you got to watch out for that. I'm going to give you the answers so you can try it if you want, the bottom question on 97. I'm just going to give you the answers and then you take it from there. This would be $180. And B is 2.5 years. If you want to write that down. If you want to kind of do the same example one more time, different scenario, of course, then you can try that. So now we're done home finance. I'm just going to tell you, if you want review, and I'm going to post the keys, one more, like this is the last thing I'm going to say about the booklet, is you go to 113, go to page 113. There's so much stuff that I just added it just in case, right? Starting 113 to 123, so review is page 113 to 123. I'm going to post all of those answers shortly. I have them scanned already. And it goes into topics like I do mortgage payments, there's amortization tables, there's land transfer tax, there's insurance, property tax, that kind of stuff. If you want to review that, don't do them all if you don't have time, but kind of strategically just go through the booklet. The only one I don't have everything here. So GDSR, you have to go back to GDSR to get that, right? To review, go back to that section and see if you can redo some of those questions. And if you go in Google Classroom, you can scroll down to GDSR. There's going to be a key there most likely for that section, right? But that's it. So test tomorrow right after lunch.